This, then, is the moon. Like a flower in heaven's high bower, with silent delight, sits and smiles on the night.
Astronomers tell us that the Earth we live on and the moon we see in the sky are but tiny specks in a tremendous universe that contains billions upon billions of stars and other worlds. Now, one of these tiny little specks, or stars, is our own sun. And circling around the sun is a system of 9 major planets. Except for Mercury and Venus, all of the planets have 1 or more moons. The giant Jupiter has 12, Saturn 9, Mars 2, and of course our Earth only 1. How the Earth and Moon came to be is a mystery. Astronomers speculate that about 4 billion years ago, our own universe was once a tremendous swirling cloud of cosmic gases and dust. Within this great nebula, smaller whirlpools of gaseous matter formed. These eddies of dust and hot gases gradually condensed to form our sun and planets. It is believed that at this early stage, the Earth and Moon evolved, with the Moon finally cooling to become a small, barren satellite 2,000 miles in diameter and circling the Earth once a month at a distance of 240,000 miles. Because the sun lights only half of the circling Moon, the Moon seems to gradually change shape during its monthly trip around the Earth. When the Moon moves between the Earth and the Sun, we see nothing but the dark shadow side. This is called the new Moon. Each night, as the Moon progresses along its circular path, we see slightly more of the lighted half. When it reaches a point on the opposite side of the Earth from the Sun, it appears to us as a full moon. Then, as the Moon continues its journey, we begin to see less and less of the illuminated half until finally it completes its monthly trip and becomes a new moon once again. Sometimes the circular path of the Moon carries it through the shadow of the Earth, and we observe the weird effect known as an eclipse of the Moon. On other rare occasions, during daylight hours, the invisible Moon passes squarely between the Earth and the Sun, and we are treated to the spectacle of a solar eclipse. Evidence of the Moon's influence on our daily lives is here demonstrated. The gravitational pull the Moon exerts on the oceans of our Earth causes daily high and low tides around the world. These various movements of our Moon through the sky have been observed and predicted for centuries. Today, with the help of modern telescopes and cameras, we're able to get a close-up view of the very unusual details on the Moon's surface. The prominent dark areas we see even without a telescope are large, flat plains surrounded by mountain ranges and craters. Some of the rugged mountain peaks rise straight up to 35,000 feet, and the craters range in size from small potholes to giant openings measuring 146 miles across. Scientists attribute the Moon's rather rough surface to either volcanic action or to explosive hits by meteorites when the Moon was in a molten state. We've never seen the other side of the Moon, but experts agree that it probably looks much like the side which always faces us. The Moon is a dead world without atmosphere, a silent, unchanging desert where temperatures drop to 250 degrees below zero on the shadow side and boil at over 200 degrees in the direct light of the sun. But uninviting as it seems to be, man's restless search for knowledge of the universe will certainly make the Moon one of his first objectives in the exploration of space. Here to reveal a plan for a trip around the Moon.
Early in 1949, space history was made when the payload in the nose of the V2 was a small rocket called the Orbital. When the large V2 reached its maximum speed, the smaller rocket was ignited. This additional boost in speed enabled the Orbital to set a new high-altitude record of 250 miles. This day marked the first time that a man-made object reached outer space. This was accomplished by using a double rocket, then secretly known as Project Bomber. we refer to it as a two-step or two-stage rocket.
Is it possible to build a three-stage rocket?
Yes, as a matter of fact, that's the next logical step. Here's a rocket I have designed that has 3 stages. It would stand about 70 feet high, or a little taller than the old V2. Here you can see the 3 sections, each one having its own rocket motor. If somebody will please make a sketch for me, perhaps I can explain how it will work. Good. Here we show our rocket in its launching position. The first great blast starts to lift it. And after gaining initial speed, the first section is cast off at 20 miles up. At 45 miles, the second stage is released. The third stage now fires until it reaches an altitude of 70 miles. At this point, our rocket has now attained a tremendous speed and the motor shuts off. Its forward momentum would carry it straight out into space if it were not for the Earth's gravity. This downward pull of gravity bends the upward course of the rocket into a curved path. And if the rocket's speed going away from the Earth creates enough centrifugal force to balance this pull of gravity, our rocket will continue coasting in its curved path around the Earth indefinitely.
Mr. Lake, is there another way we can illustrate this?
Yes, let's explain it this way. If the rocket were to move at a slower speed, the pull of gravity would soon overcome the rocket's momentum and it would return to Earth here. If we add a little more speed, the path of the rocket becomes longer and it goes farther before it returns to Earth here. So if we have our rocket go past enough, it will eventually follow a curve which matches the curvature of the Earth and will not fall back. We might say that the rocket falls around the Earth as long as it maintains sufficient speed.
But how does it maintain this speed with the motor shut off?
Remember, our rocket is traveling above the atmosphere, in space, where there is no air friction to slow it down.
How fast does it have to go to stay up there?
And now that depends on how high we want the rocket to be as it circles the Earth. Let's use the altitude of 1,075 miles. Because at this height, the rocket will have to go nearly 16,000 miles per hour and will make a complete trip around the world every 2 hours. A few adjustments in its course will be necessary, but this can be accomplished from the ground by remote control, after which the rocket will continue to coast freely in space.